We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by Her Excellency Ambassador Muna Omar, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. It's a very good afternoon to you, Madam Ambassador.
Good afternoon, dear.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time. And let me start by asking you, Madam Ambassador, the importance of the 5th semi-annual coordination meeting of the African Union and African Economic Communities, which will be held starting Sunday in Nairobi, in Kenya, in the presence, of course, of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Could you tell us a bit about this very important gathering, ma'am?
I can tell you that this summit is a biannual summit that is held every year since 2017. This is why it is the 5th one. We decided at the African Union to have our second summit in one of the African countries, and that this summit will be held with the economic, the regional economic communities as the basis for the attendance at this meeting. The conference this year has for a theme the acceleration of the African continent free trade area implementation. And this is an issue that is very important for the continent, for the whole continent. And if you remember, during the presidency of Egypt to the AU in 2019, we succeeded in convincing many countries, many African countries, to ratify this agreement, so it entered into force. And now we are seeking ways and means really to accelerate the implementation of this free trade agreement, as it will be very useful for the continent. We are trying really to finalize the free trade area. We would like to be like the European Union and the free market and all of this. So this is about the summit. It will be attended by the presidents of the regional economic communities, by the Bureau of the African Union, which will be the actual president, the previous one, and the next one. It will be attended by the Commission of African Union itself, also by the presidents of the different mechanisms related to the AU. One of them is NEPAD, and Egypt is presiding over NEPAD for the time being for 2 years. And this is why President el-Sisi is participating also at this summit in his capacity as of current president of NEPAD.
Yes, and also the president will be delivering a speech in his capacity as the president of the United Nations Climate Conference as well. Before.
Can you repeat, because the line was not...
Yes, Madam Ambassador, I'm saying the president will also be delivering a speech in his capacity as the current president of the UN Climate Conference before the Environment and Climate Change session, also to tackle Egypt's efforts to face the effects of climate change on the countries of the African continent.
Yes, and to add up to what you said,
yes,
also to motivate the donors to provide the support and
yes,
the funding to the African states on this issue, the
yes,
climate change.
Mm-hmm. To fulfill the pledges. Yes, Madam Ambassador.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we've seen, Madam Ambassador, Egypt taking a number of steps over the last years to support countries of the African continent in many levels. How do you see the results of these steps culminating now with something like the free trade agreement coming into effect?
Actually, you chose well the subject. We are making a lot of effort for
yes,
the free trade agreement. And in Egypt, we hosted many meetings with the Afrexim Bank and the free trade area. And we also organized many workshops for the business people, the business community in general, to create awareness about the benefits of joining the free trade area. Also, our technical people have been working with all technical people from the African continent to unify the regulations and the laws as to facilitate the transfer of goods from here to there. Mm-hmm. So it is going on well, and I hope really that in few years we will be bearing the benefits of the free trade area.
Absolutely. Madam Ambassador, in light of the current challenges with, its post-COVID era, as well as the Russian-Ukrainian crisis, that has really had a major effect on supply chains, as well as issues related to food security, which has affected the African continent. How important do you see a more inter-reliance between African states in the African continent on each other in order to achieve food security?
We have some problems related to this issue because there is a big similarity between the products, be it food products or even any other products from the African countries. There is a big similarity, so the exchange is not really going on very well. But and actually in NEPAD we are presiding over the Committee of Agriculture, that in Africa we have very fertile soil, and if we cooperate together, we can divide what the needs of each country and get it from the African continent, as you said, and it will be sparing us a lot of hard currency that is paid to other countries, and also will create a good revenue for the African countries.
Absolutely right. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Madam Ambassador Mona Omar, former Assistant to Foreign Minister. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time.